All right, I'm Sophia,
I'm Hikaru.
Manish.
and we are Super Dice. We're Dice Group 8. We're just going to be showing you the game walkthrough from one player's perspective, as we're only able to show one screen at a time. So if you go to the start page right here, you're able to access a rule page, which opens up right there. So if the players ever get confused, they can just click to the other tab. Oh, I clicked it too many times. All right, so as you can see, I'm gonna play as player 1 right now. If we were playing with 2 players, the other person would toggle and click player 2 and then press start, but I'll do player 1 and I'm gonna start. So we'll start with round 1. And as you can see, the faces on the dice here correspond with the number for each roll, and the last column or the last row shows that the total score. We'll go to round 2. As you can see, since there's no player 2 playing against me right now, these fields are blank. But it added my score of 2 from this round to the total score at the end, and I'll just quickly click through the rest of the rounds. And then once you get to your final round. So if I were to be playing against another player, we would both click the results page, and either one of these two options would pop up based on who won. If player 1 were to win, oh, wrong one. Player 1 were to win, it would be this. And you can click play again if you would like, and it will take you back to that home page. Player 2 wins would be the same thing, except for the player 2 instead of 1. And if there were a tie, we all hate ties. It'll come to this page, and you can again click that, and it'll take you back to the home page to play again. And Hikaru is going to do a explanation of the code, starting from the first page.
Yeah, the first page is like when you push the button, like start button, like it shows like two players final window, which is the game window, the main window.
And I will go to the 2 players window right now. And that is right here. So over to the code view for all of us. All right. So you can see from the beginning. She set up, you want to talk about how you did the thing speak here with the channel? All that?
Yeah, these are the properties that we used in this in our code, like just a listing, and then like I set this code public so you can access from like any other functions.
Awesome. And the startup function displays
Yeah,
all of the keys here.
this is
And when you go into, this is the player 1, round 1. This function corresponds with the round 1 button. If you want to just talk about, she set up right here again more ThingSpeak stuff to correspond to each field. And then here, Anish, if you want to talk about how you.
Yeah, so here we had the table on the right side, and once you click that round 1, round 2 button, it'll select a random number between 1 through 12 and then place it into the table. And then based on the number you rolled in that rand function, it shows an image to show like the dice that you rolled.
Yes. So yeah, the images are right here. And if it's an if else statement that corresponds to, like, if you rolled this, then it'll display a 5 in the first column, first row, and 5 in the last column. But that's just for the first round. Once you get to the second round, we add the score to the last column. And you can see here, since this is round 2, you take the the roll, and then you add to whatever is in the first column from round one. And then here Hikaru worked on more things speak.
Yeah. So what I try to do here is to send the various information to ThinkSpeak website and read. So can you scroll down a little bit? So the next one is to read that barrier at the first section in the callback function of the button that the other person's pushed after that. So you can see the score barrier on the figure on your website and on your Windows.
Awesome. And just another note here, it's also in the previous round. It's actually in every round in regards to each button, but when you click the button, Anish found a way to play a little dice sound, which is a fun little addition. And this repeats for every round, so it goes back and forth where player one clicks their button, then player two clicks their button. But all this code is basically similar, almost identical, except for where each column is showing the score, because Anish did a really good job of showing where that is. And Hikaru helped with the ThinkSpeak, so it should go back and forth between the remote devices. And then here we have our final round button. If you want to explain at the very end, or is it right up here? Yeah, so the player one reads the player's two score.
So basically the same thing at for the first section.
Okay, yeah, and then here we go. But this is basically the same, and you go down. But then once you get to the final round of player two, you can see that they're paused to find the two scores between player one score and the fourth dice roll. And that's later taken into account to see which one got the higher score for to launch the results pages, which will either be the player one wins, player two wins, or the tie pages. And here, that's Anish's rule page function. The button goes to a separate page. And then I think this was Hikaru, right? Which button is selected.
Yeah.
I think you just
So this is like you can see the button group on the top right, and then this if you select the player one, the code shows you're the code knows you're the player one, and then like when you click the player two, the code knows you're the player two, and it set the number correspond to the number.
Yeah, and it's nice because once you toggle either player one or two and you press start, you're not able to interfere with the other player's round at all. And then here we have our results button, and this is an if-else statement that Anish wrote in order to show which page will come up. So let's say the player one total, the P1 total was greater than the P2 total. Those are two different functions. Then it would take you to this page. Just a very simple Mariah Carey clapping. And then the code for here is really simple again. It just takes you right back to the first page, which is this one. And then you can just decide to play again if you'd like. And I think that's about it.